Welcome back to the Pioneers Sideline. I'm your host, Aaron Cooney. Episode 127 here. Another special thanks to Shane Lucas for stopping by to talk a little soccer with us. But now it's time to switch to the hard court and a little bit of a harder ball. We're going to talk some volleyball here. Teresa Davis joining us in the studio, and we're going to take a look at the week that was for them as they had 3 matches of their own. Started off this past Tuesday, the 18th, taking on Carlo at Carlo, and Pioneers doing what they do. Another 3-0 sweep. Taking out Carlo. Pioneers move on to 29-4, their 14th straight win. As you can see there, Oberacker and Lota combined for 21 kills and 8 blocks. Won't be the last you hear of them. They had a tri-match at Davis Elkins College down in West Virginia on Saturday. 2 matches there versus Davis Elkins. They would win that one 3-1. Davis Elkins falls to 11-20. Point Park now 30-4. Oberacker and Lota 18 kills apiece, hitting 54% there, and then following up later on the afternoon, taking on a Bluefield team, get the win there, 3-0 in straight sets. Pioneers 25-11, 25-6, 25-12, just straight domination, and they would get some playing time in for some of those players off the bench. Amanda Pato got in, Ashley Campbell, Chelsea Katkich put in a great game, and Pioneers keeping up what they do and come back here at the desk. Teresa Davis, and you look at these games, and Carlo and some of these Division II teams, but still, Pioneers just keep things rolling.
Right, and they just rolled past Carlo. For example, Carlo never got above 15 points in any of the sets they played. We see the Pioneers doing that more often in each game. They're leaving teams in the lower scoring column, which is ultimately a winner's goal. The Pioneers in the Carlo game hit 481 percentage-wise, and a couple weeks ago I said that was their weakness, but Aaron, they're starting to prove me wrong here.
That seems what they do. I mean, this volleyball team, you call them out, and they'll go and work on it and make you look bad. But hey, I mean, nothing you can do, and I think you've lit a fire under them, and that's good because there's no stopping them. And 2 players, we mentioned Brittany Lota last week. We touched on her switching from the middle to the outside, but her and Oberacker have just become a dominant force. And what can you say about their play? It's just incredible.
They work very well together. We have our 2 bigs really taking command on that court. They're combining for kills. They're 2 of the top in the stat book. Lindsay Oberacker is hitting 464 kills on the year. So, and then we have Brittany Lota hitting 288 kills, and those are the 2 tops. So, I mean, they're unstoppable.
Do you think it just took a little bit of time for Brittany Lota as she transferred in, just to get comfortable with this lineup and her role?
I do. She's only a sophomore, but she's really stepping into that role. She's as making that transition from middle to outside hitter. She's really just, her kills have increased actually, and she's been in double digits the last 10 to 14 games that she's played. Now
that win against Carlo clinched for Point Park, the AMC conference. They will host the tournament here on November 8th, I do believe. And we'll bring up the AMC standings real quick just to show you what we're looking at. The top 4 teams will play. So Walsh out as they're moving to Division II. Point Park 1. Damon would be your 2. Roberts your 3. And then Houghton coming in at 4. And just looking at, it looks like Point Park can really take a run with this tournament and achieve where they haven't been able to go before.
I do believe that because, they have 16 consecutive wins going into this, and that's bound to rise. Damon hasn't really given them that much of a threat, and since Walsh is the only team that they've lost to, and they've only lost 4 sets since they've played Walsh on September 22nd. And going into that, I mean, if they don't have a mental lapse, then I think they don't have to worry.
And that's another heck of a stat that you bring up. Only lost 4 sets since September, and there's something like that. Do you kind of lull yourself into a false security that maybe you can just go out and dominate the way it is, and then somebody can come out of nowhere and maybe Damon, one of these teams has a game out of nowhere and just knocks you off and when it counts.
Well, right, because any team has any chance to win on any given day, and if the Pioneers don't come focused and ready to play, they can get knocked out, which is why they still need to continue their momentum and really stay focused into these games.
And next 2 games, they play Division II opponents, Gannon University, another tough one. They're 18-7, tied with California University, who beat Point Park in straight sets earlier in the season. And then at West Liberty team, another strong NCAA Division II squad out of West Virginia. And Teresa, we got to ask: you schedule these games toward the end, and Point Park has had trouble, finishing at the end of the season, and maybe they do, as you mentioned, lull themselves into a false sense of security. But scheduling these two games, is this something that keeps them on their toes going into an AMC tournament?
Absolutely. They need to schedule these tough games in order to get them rolling. I mean, they've had easy strolls throughout this whole season, and Gannett is away, and it could be a detriment to their play depending on their comfort level, but they just need to sink in, stay focused and be on their toes.
Point Park will host that tournament November 8th. Teresa, thank you very much for stopping by, topping more volleyball with us. We will have you on next week. Get back into that tournament with a little preview. But right now, we got to take a quick commercial break. Stick around because we're going to jump right into the Courthouse Tavern Case of the Week. Steelers, Patriots, who you got?